Music, theater, a captivating dance performance exploring early childhood discoveries, and more. The Bay Area is offering a host of unique performances and exhibits that are going on right now and in the weeks ahead. KQED's senior arts editor, Chloe Veltman, has been checking out some of these events and joins us now with the highlights. Hi, Chloe.
Hello, Scott.
Let's begin in San Francisco at Z Space, and there is a comedy happening there that has sort of an unusual inspiration, I think you might say.
That's right. This is a new comedy, a surreal new comedy by a great local playwright by the name of Peter Sin-Nachtrieb, and it's called House Tour of the Infamous Porter Family Mansion. It's inspired by some of those tours that people take of places like Hearst Castle and the Winchester Mystery House.
Tacky tours.
Yeah, you could say that in a way, but it's about other things. Really, it's a very immersive experience, so the audience gets to travel through this mansion. It's been built within the confines of Z Space, which is a big black box space, but you get to go down these corridors and through weird doors and go down through these spaces, and you're led by this wonderful local actor, Danny Shea, who is playing the role of the tour guide. And really the show is about other things than touring a house, though.
So you're literally walking through this house, which is the set.
Exactly. And you go into different weird rooms.
Do you get to ask questions like you would on a regular tour?
Well, he asks questions of the audience.
Okay.
Yes, and you kind of find out quite a lot about him and his life. And under the sort of the veneer of comedy, there's a lot of depth and darkness there. And it's a really wonderful experience. And what I love about it is this immersive quality it has to it. It's a bit like the show Sleep No More, for example, on Broadway that's been doing so well.
One other event happening at Z Space, and it's kind of a quirky puppet show.
That's right. It's called Bird Heart, and it's happening next week at Z Space. It's been created by Julian Crouch, who's this master puppeteer, Tony Award nominated, and he's joined by Saskia Lane, who some people know is a great rock performer with the Lascivious Biddies. She's collaborated
Lascivious Biddies,
yes,
that's such a great name.
I know, it's a great name, and she's collaborated with Jay-Z and Beyonce, and so they're creating this sort of tabletop theatre and making puppets out of ordinary objects and brown paper and sand and things. It's kind of
kind of creepy, scary.
It's a little creepy, but it's beautiful.
Okay, good. Well, from quirky, scary, beautiful puppets to tattoos down in the South Bay. Tell us about, it's an exhibit of female women with tattoos.
Female women, that's right. Californian female women, to be honest, to be precise, in fact. So this is an exhibition called Tattooed and Tenacious, Inked Women, and it takes place at History Park, which is History San Jose. This is a small but fantastic exhibition that delves into the history of the tattoo arts, the people that wore the tattoos, the people that created tattoos, all of them women in this state.
And we're not talking about millennials here. We're talking about, as we saw from those photos a moment ago, you know, going back a century.
Exactly. Well, even further. So there's some wonderful images and other artifacts to do with Native American women who wore the tattoos. There's also some stuff about the Victorian ladies who wore tattoos, like Amy Crocker. I had no idea that these upper-class railroad heiresses had tattoos. So she had a huge snake on her.
Were they all hidden, I assume?
Yes, under those tight corsets and those high collars, yes.
What kind of emotion does it evoke? I mean, because, you know, tattoos, people have opinions and feelings about tattoos today. When you're looking at these from so many years ago, what does it bring up? Well,
for me personally, it brought up wonder. I mean, I had no idea about the history of tattoos. And also, you know, I think tattoo art is quite a male-dominated business. And so to kind of see it through this more feminist perspective was really interesting.
Yeah. Are you a tattoo? Do you have tattoos?
Actually, I don't. But, you know, if I were to get a tattoo, you know what I'd get?
I'm not going to guess. You tell me.
I would get an oboe, which is the instrument that I play.
Oh, okay. Well, you could put that on your arms very easily, legs.
Or elsewhere.
Very nice. Or elsewhere, yes. Okay, moving right along. So back to San Francisco, Fort Mason. There is something called When We Were Small, which I assume is not a reference to Steve Martin's old skit, Let's Get Small, right?
No, nothing to do with that, Scott. No, this is a circus dance show all about early childhood. So, I mean, none of us remember what it's like to be 2 years old, but the artistic director of this company, Capacitor, that normally makes shows about science subjects, neuroscience, biology, geology. She's making a show this time which is all about what it's like to be a little kid. So you see the world through a tiny child's eyes. So here we see like these huge, beautiful physical shapes, these aerialists, dancers performing, creating weird and wonderful kind of impressions of what it's like to be little.
Little, yes, and it's a kind of a circus arts company, I understand.
Yeah, it is. They use aerialists in this show as well as contemporary dancers and contortionists too.
Okay, and one last thing you want to talk about, and it has to do with early music, and by early we mean really early, a few centuries ago.
Yeah, Renaissance times, medieval times. So I don't know if you know this, Scott, but Berkeley is a huge centre for this kind of music. On the West Coast, it's pretty much the main one. On the East Coast, you have Boston and so on. And we have a really wonderful British group that's coming through called Stile Antico. Should we take a listen?
Sure.
So this is a wonderful group that comes from London, and they're going to be performing at the First Congregational Church this weekend. They're really young and hip.
Really quick, we marked this week the opening of Flax, the art supply store in Oakland. The closing of the store here on Market Street broke my heart.
Yeah.
But I guess just another reason to go to Oakland.
Definitely. It's a way people can, over there, can get their good art supplies now.
All right, great. Thanks very much, Chloe Veltman, KQED Senior Arts Editor. And you can find a lot more online, by the way, kqed.org/arts. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure, Scott.